class.
Hello.
Hey.
Glad you're here this afternoon. Obviously, you're all our customer service reps for County Brands, and appreciate taking the time to be here. My name is Matt Harrelson. I'm the training coordinator, and you have signed up for the class for tracking customer complaints, and this is the training session that we'll be covering. I've given each of you a outline or copies of the PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to read off of this. You can read along or look at the laptop. I also give you a standard operating procedure, which we'll be covering as well. The learning objectives for tracking customer complaints are we want to identify and categorize the types of the complaints. We want to develop, or we have developed, a initial phase of the standard operating procedure, or SOP, for tracking customer complaints. We want to understand the process. We want to how best to track the customer complaints. We're using a grading scale to determine the severity of the complaint itself. And lastly, we want to compensate our customer so we have happy customers and retain customers. So that's the objectives, the core objectives. So the phases of learning are preparation, and then you have the presentation, and then a practice, and then the actual performance. The first phase, preparation, our objective is to resolve and track customer complaints in a timely manner. We ask our employees for suggestions, feedback. We are looking to have a company goal to reduce the returns and complaints. The main goal is improve our customer experience, and we want to reduce our overall returns and complaints by 10%. And based on 2017, we figured 10% we could save the company up to $500,000. We want to create a culture of empathy and respect to our customers. We treat them, customer is always right, remember that. No matter what they say, we want to keep our customer, keep them happy. We want to build a positive atmosphere in the workplace. We want everybody to be on the same page, which the standard operating procedure is a guideline for everybody for consistency, to eliminate miscommunications. There's just a bunch of stuff. It just makes things operate smoothly. Everyone's doing the same thing all the time, same way. And we want full participation, and feedback's the biggest thing. During last month's workshop, we discussed the role of customer service reps, and you were asked to keep track of complaints and gather data, especially for the quality assurance department. So what we did is we grouped them into 5 main categories, and that the complaint categories, and that is not as expected, poor quality, defective, damaged, and injury, illness. Injury could be personal, illness, sick, could be property damage, anything like that. Like I said, we're compiling all this information daily. When the complaint comes into you, you're not taking orders, you're taking complaints. People have already processed them to you. The data you record will be in a spreadsheet, so everything's logged in. But for the standard operation, the procedure to work, we need all this information keyed in.
How about adding, like, to the categories, wouldn't, like, wrong item or wrong color be one?
Is that a common complaint? Someone calling for the wrong item, wrong? It is?
Yeah.
If it's an actual common complaint, then that's one way to tracking it and to resolve the issues. So, good feedback. So anyways, going forward, is there anything before we start in the next phase?
No.
Nothing? Okay. So the presentation objective is to assist you, the employee, in learning new company procedures, review of the standard operating procedure, collaborative knowledge between support departments. You'll be working with the quality assurance department, packaging department, customer service and the product returns department. Interaction between these departments, hands-on demonstrations, data analysis, the metrics, team-based learning, and problem-solving brainstorming sessions. So going into the presentation, what we want to do is the standard operating procedure. It's a step-by-step procedure for good manufacturing practices. The PowerPoint and the SOP can be found on our intranet under quality assurance process and procedures. And first of all, what is a customer complaint? Everybody, all of you are customers. Have you ever complained?
Someone's unsatisfied with a product.
Good. The definition is it's when a person states their displeasure or dissatisfaction of the product or service to the proprietor.
Yeah.
And what is customer service?
That is working with the customer to resolve the issue and make her happy.
Sure. Yep. Customer service is active involvement, like you're saying. It's the action taken by a company to enhance the customer's experience. You want to leave the customer happy. So we're going to look at the standard operating procedure and kind of familiarize ourselves. Standard operating procedure, this one particular for your job is for tracking customer complaints. The purpose is to satisfy the customer, make them happy, reassure them that we're happy that they purchased from us and we want them back again. The scope, we want to identify the root cause. In order to track it, we want to know what the cause is so we, quality assurance and the supporting departments, can follow through. And the responsibility, at this point, the information gathering is from you, the customer service reps. This is an important job for all of you. So when you do get a call, you respond in a friendly tone, tell them your name, the company, and how may I help you. Listen to the customer's complaint, listen exactly what they have to, and just don't interrupt, let them say what they have to say, and then, if they don't say exactly, like if it doesn't fall in category, the 5 or 6 now that we talked about, just ask them what the core reason, main reason for what they complained about. If they ask a question about the product and they say they want to keep the product but they needed more information, give them that information. You have your online access to the QA specs, but if it's technical data that they want clarification, if you can't answer it, don't guess, just say, we can get back to you, let me call our quality assurance department, and we'll get back to you within one work day. We want to get back as soon as possible. Ask them for the product name, the pack number, all this information is going to be entered in the spreadsheet. We're going to categorize the complaint. We want to end the call on a good note. We want to reassure the customer that we recognize them as a valued customer and thank them for doing business with us. So, after we identify the complaint, the wrong item, not as expected, poor quality, defective, damage, and injury, illness, that's part of the tracking. Now, after we identify the problem, we're going to enter it, track it. We want to compensate our customer. And how are we going to do that? We want to resolve this issue. We want them back. So, if it's defective and they don't want it any longer, but they like the product, they can return it to us and we'll send them a replacement, no charge. If they don't like the product, for whatever reason is, we want it returned so we can investigate. We can compensate them by crediting their account in full. In both cases, they send the product back at no cost. And then thirdly, if they want the product, they can live with the defect or whatever they're complaining about, we can offer gift certificates or a reduced price, $10, $20 off their account. This will make them happy, and this you're working for them, and that's what we want. We're working with the customer to retain the customer. The issue is based on what the value of the product is, you know, $30, $50, maybe $100, $200. It's up to the discretion. Customer service reps, you're empowered to make those decisions. You want this customer happy, you can compensate them, say, based on the total price, up to $50. I mean, if it's a $50 item, you don't wanna tell them keep it and we'll give you $50.
Right.
Just you'll know the balance between that, and your supervisors, they know as well. So that's the standard operating procedure. Like I said, you'll always have this at your desk as a guideline. The information you'll be entering on your spreadsheet. So the practice phase now becomes the interaction. I'll be the customer. You're the customer service reps, which is good. I'm gonna read off a script and using your reference guide, I want you to not guess. I want you to practice and categorize it. This is beneficial to the QA department in resolving. All right. The bath towels I purchased were too thin. When I washed them the first time, they faded. Now going on this, what would that fall under?
I don't know.
Too thin, color faded.
What do you think, Stacy?
Poor quality.
Poor quality.
Poor quality. Yep. So in this case, when you enter it in there, when QA receives at the end of the day, you know, the spreadsheet that, you know, your complaint, what it is, the product, QA will look at it, they'll order one from stock, they'll evaluate it with the merchandiser, and then make a sound decision. All right, next one. When I received the package, it was in good condition. When I opened the package, the dinnerware is broken.
Be
Damaged.
damaged.
Correct. Yep. In that case, your support department is the packaging department. They read the report, they'll say, all right, this product received damage, they'll get one from stock, evaluate it, maybe perform drop tests, whatever it is. But that's the person the support group you would enter in the system. The rug I ordered online looked big based on the image online. When I received the rug, it was too small.
Not as expected.
Exactly, not as expected. In this case, customer may agree to keep it at a reduced price, that's your discretion. But in this case, what QA would do is get a sample, review with the merchandiser. You know, did they portray it wrong online or in the catalog? Did QA provide dimensions on the internet? I mean, some people look at it, looks good, but they need to read the dimensions, but not as expected, you're right. All right, next one is their ceramic vase I received had multiple unglazed spots and had a dirty appearance.
Poor quality.
Poor quality?
You can say a lot.
No, that's fine.
Oh, is
No, you said poor quality?
Yeah.
That, you know, I wouldn't say there's no wrong answer, but poor quality would work, not as expected would work. You would narrow it down to, like I say, that's great. And that's the same thing, QA would, you know, like say, look at the report, pull samples from stock and evaluate it. Are they all that way? Is it acceptable? Is it not acceptable? But yeah, we would truly investigate. All right, this is a good one. I ordered blue stockings twice, and each time I received red stockings.
Oh, goodness.
That don't happen.
Wrong item color.
Wrong item, yeah. You know, and you might say, well, do you like them? You know, we can offer you $10 or $5 off to keep them. But if they say, yeah, I'd like to have red, but this is a case where we read the report, we put the product on hold, and we make sure it's the right, shipping from the right location or it is the right color. This is to stop us from sending more product out to customers that's wrong, the wrong product, wrong color, or any defect. We want stuff only what the customer orders in stock. All right, next one is a 2-slot toaster heats up only on one side. Now this is a complaint.
Defective.
All right, correct, defective. In this case, customer or quality assurance will read the report, put the product on hold, just we'll ask for the customer to return it to us at no cost. QA will evaluate it. Meantime, we'll get one from inventory and we'll test it as well. The last one, the heel on one shoe broke while I was walking, causing me to fall, and I sprained my ankle. I needed medical assistance.
Injury.
Alright, injury or illness. So in this case, it's true that it may happen, a customer is injured or gets sick from one of our products, whatever it may be. You show empathy towards them, you know, don't say, oh yeah, you know, were you walking too fast?
Yeah.
Or you wearing heels too high, you shouldn't have, but you gotta show empathy, respect, you have to make sure that, you know, you
You
take it,
care.
yeah,
Mhm.
you care about the customer. And in this case, if they say, well, what can we do to help? And say, well, you know, I got a doctor bill, I've got this. If they wanna fill an insurance claim, they can, and that'll go through quality assurance department, and then we get legal department involved. If we can't offer them compensation, it's their right to get a lawyer or whatever it is, but for most cases, we'll work with them and to avoid any of the legal issues, so. Well, at this point, I mean, do you feel pretty comfortable going through the practice phase?
Yeah.
Using a reference guide, and not only that, you'll be doing this off and on all through, your work. You'll be in your groups, your managers to go over, do some role play scenarios, all that good stuff. Alright, that's the practice phase, now we're into the performance. Performance phase, the objective is to assist you, the customer service reps, in applying and exercising your new knowledge on how to track customer complaints. Create execution plans, your standard operating procedures, your information when the customer calls, they're in the system, it'll just tell you what to put down, like say the pack number, what the product is, what the complaint is, and your support department, who you're to contact. You'll have ongoing coaching for myself, upper management, customer service manager, QA managers, ongoing coaching. We want to make sure we have a qualified customer service rep staff that knows and understands our customers' wants and needs. We want this customer to purchase from us not ongoing. We have performance evaluations and feedback from all of you. Like I said, if there's something that you want to add to this list, don't hesitate, just ask. And this isn't the final copy. This is not a rough draft, it's near finalization, but we do want as much information in the next couple of weeks. And you're empowered to make your best judgment in resolving customer complaints and using the best corrective action. So, in doing so, well, actually that ends our training, and it was short and brief, but at any time, call your supervisor, or talk to your supervisor, call any one of your support groups. I mean, was there any other questions or topics that I didn't really cover? I mean, you're the ones answering the calls, we're the ones that are acting on behalf of your
I got a
information. Sure.
If you get repeated complaints from the same customer, how do you handle that? I mean,
It's all in the system. When a customer places an order, date, time, what they ordered, and say there's a timeline, they ordered it Monday, and that Friday they're complaining about it, and they want it compensated, and they want it returned, they want credited. Then we do, and then say they make another purchase a month later, and the same pattern falls, then we can code them as a problem customer. Some people may take advantage of the good nature of our company, wanting to, like you can return it, no questions asked. Some people may complain and they want it returned because they know if they complain about it, it's free shipping, they don't have to pay the shipping to get it back. Unfortunately, there's people who may fall on hard times and can't make their payment and say, it doesn't work, so they know we'll take it back, adjust their or credit their account, so they're in good standing, so, but yeah, we note it as far as that, but, we really need your support in following the standard operating procedure. We need you to, fill out the complaint form online as far as identifying it, compensating them, or make sure you enter how you compensate them, that's good to know too. But we want happy customers, we want everybody to be on the same page, so if there's no further questions, we'll release you back to your phone calls, your customers are waiting for you.
Yay!
I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Yep, you're welcome.